will. And we are good to go. Welcome, everybody. We are here on board the beautiful Majestic Princess, and I just want to say thank you to all of our amazing travel advisor partners who have joined us for this 3-day cruise. We are in Ensenada today. We are streaming live to the world as part of this continuation of Connect with Princess webinar series. We're going to do a little training, a little information, have a little fun, and I am going to take my mask off. For here, this is why you're all wearing masks. Thank you so much. The protocols on board are such that we wear masks, and I'm going to take mine off because I'm social distancing from you guys. And it's a little easier to hear me when I do that. Is that cool? So I promise to keep my distance from you. Half of you have restraining orders against me, so I need to respect that anyway. So with that, let's join and let's start the show, okay? So first up, boy, isn't it great to be back at sea? It has been a long road, and we have gotten through this, and we are continuing to get through this, right? We still have some work to do, but I think what stands out for me, and the energy that you have all brought, passion for what you do, and you're in this great business, is our amazing crew, because they have just done the most incredible job of delivering great service. So give a round of applause for the crew. So for the guys operating the cameras and in the control booth, that was not for you. That was for everybody else. So don't let it get to your head. No, but you guys have been great, of course. So we're just so thankful to be back. And all of us at Princess and our corporate family, all of our corporation family is really appreciative of being back and here. In case you don't know me, I am John Chernesky, and I have the pleasure of leading the sales team here at Princess. We're going to introduce some folks as we get into the show. And you've spent some good time with the people on board who's either your BDM or maybe somebody that you don't know. So you're pointing and laughing at one of the pictures. What picture are you pointing and laughing at? The sloth. Well, that was an amazing experience. I tried to bring the sloth home. They wouldn't let me, and they said, you really don't want this animal because it eats a lot, believe it or not. But it was quite an experience. We were in Roatan at that time. But now here's an early picture of me, in case you haven't seen this already. I have been with the company for just over 29 years, which is, amazing. Thank you. And back then, those jeans were apparently fashionable. The slick back hair, but this is the old Island Princess. This was up in Vancouver at Valentine Pier during a wet dock. Hey, Canada, all right. That was a great trip. And one of the very few pictures that I actually have of my early days. Now I got 1,000 pictures a day, but back then that was a rare, you had the hood and the thing when the poof, and that's how they took the picture of that. Okay, so this is a good question for you all because you're here cruising, you love it. And the question is, why do we cruise? Why are we in this business? Why didn't, with the pandemic, it just go away? Like, why did we not say, just pack it up, we're never going to cruise again? It may sound stupid, but I'm just asking the question, like, what is in it for us when we cruise? And you think about the history of cruising and all the glamour, the luxury that went into it, and getting out there and seeing the world. I think being here on board is such a great reminder, right, for what we're all in this for, why we do this. And to me, it's about connection, about being with your family, making new friends. One of the most highly anticipated elements of taking a cruise is meeting new folks when you get on board, and you form those friendships. You meet crew members that 10 years later you might still be friends with, or that you want to cruise with, or they say, oh, I remember you on the so-and-so 10 years ago. And that's such a cool part of cruising. You don't really get that in any other vacation. And that's really what I think it's all about, is connecting with your loved ones, with the destination, and finding some new friends. I want to bring in Marissa. Marissa, come center stage. Welcome, all Marissa, right, to the show.
Hello.
Marissa is our business development manager here in Southern California. Say hi to the folks at home and, of course, to the audience here.
Hi, folks at home, and hello, audience. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and just on the sailing in general.
So we drew straws, and the short straw won to come present with me, and so Marissa drew the short straw. Unfortunately, she's going to help me do this presentation. We're going to go through a number of information and exciting things. But with that, Marissa, maybe introduce your history with the company and kind of.
Yeah, so I've been with Princess now coming up on 3 years.
Wow.
So, but time has flown, hasn't it? The last couple of years is just a blur. But just so fortunate to be with this company. It's been amazing from start to present. Everything that we've been going through in the last year and a half, I can just speak personally. It's been such a supportive company, and I'm just so fortunate. So thank you, John.
Thank you, Marissa. We're pleased to have you on the team for sure. Let us dive in and talk about destinations.
So I'm going to kick it off and just talk about Princess in general and a couple of our itineraries that we go to. Starting with Princess as the destination leader. And why is that? It's not just about the itineraries and the fantastic ships. We'll highlight some of our new ships coming up later, but it's also the onboard programming that's really just so special. And we call out really the Princess difference. And it's all about locally sourced everything. I have a couple of slides I want to share with you about that a little later on, but first we're going to jump into some itineraries. But also we have a lot open for sale right now. So we are seeing clients booking further out than ever before because we've all been stuck inside for the last year and a half, and we're really seeing that demand. People are like, we want to get out there. We want to book those bucket list destinations. We want to convert that bonus future cruise credit into that upgraded stateroom, into that, again, that bucket list, more exotic itinerary. So we are trying to accommodate you and put as much product out as possible. So for our Americas program, we already have available for 22 to 23, the Caribbean, Panama, California coast, Mexico, and Hawaii. So that's a lot, but that's just right here at home. In addition to that, we have Europe, Alaska, Japan, and Asia and Singapore. These are our summer 2023 seasons, all open already on sale for you to book your clients. Next, please.
And the fact that we are so far booked out, hopefully is giving you more selling opportunities because you have those clients who are booking multiple trips and want to kind of tick the boxes because they haven't been able to cruise, which is great. But I do want to ask a question of the audience. Where did the term Mexican Riviera actually come from? Who came up with it? You did not come up with it, sir. Don't try and take credit. It actually came from Princess and from the Love Boat. And here's a great picture of the Love Boat cast, the entire cast of the Love Boat. Whoa, what's up? Can you hear Jill?
Now you can. That's something really important is missing there.
What? That's the full cast. You know what?
Hi everybody at home. I'm Jill Whelan.
My mistake.
Since John, didn't feel it was important to put my picture up, I played Vicky, the captain's daughter. Yeah. So thanks for that, John.
I'm sorry, Jill.
I thought we were closer.
We were, and I'm so sorry. I made a terrible mistake. I will show the picture of you and your fame and my favorite performance, which is right here.
Okay.
So, for those that don't know, that's Vicky.
Well,
back in her youth, back in your day.
Oh, that was way in the youth.
Yeah.
Before the flood.
One could argue the greatest movie ever made, Airplane.
Well, I love this movie. Thank you. But, this is not, these people didn't have a good ending.
This is what we're talking about.
We have a good ending.
Yes.
Yeah. So there we go. There's the group.
That is a great shot. And Jill, thank you for being here, for playing along with us here in this little fun. Jill is actually the Celebrations ambassador for Princess Cruises. And when you think of going on a cruise, especially with Princess, you probably think of celebrating something. And I want to give Jill just a moment to shine and share a little bit about your role as the ambassador for Princess.
Sure. So, one of the great things, obviously, when we get on a cruise ship is that we are already in a celebratory mood. But I think for Princess, what we really want to encourage people to do is to think outside of the box when it comes to celebrating. There's the typical anniversaries and birthdays and the normal milestones. But on top of that, there are very personal milestones. This trip here was the first time that my sister and I got to travel to Europe together. So that was a celebration. And we celebrated with another really good friend of mine who celebrated a year free of cancer. So if you think about it, we all have personal milestones. Is it something at work? Is it something with your kids? Is it just a personal goal for you? And it's just so exciting, especially after 18 months of not really being able to celebrate anything, that now we get to celebrate again. So that's what we want at Princess to encourage you guys to do, is to just think about all those things you're excited about and that you love and that you want to celebrate, even if it's, your spouse, just being able to experience new things together. Celebrations are all over, and we just want to encourage you to think outside of the box.
Well said. Thank you, Jill, and appreciate you being here. Jill is truly a member of our family and such a great just friend for us, and we appreciate all that you do and your role and the history you've had with the company and love and all that is great, but just a nice person. You know when you meet with nice people that you just really care about? That's Jill.
Check's in the mail. Check is in the mail.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you. You guys, I hope you have a great time. Thank you for indulging me.
Appreciate it. Want me to take the mic? Thank you, thank you. Okay, and with that, let's talk about Mexico. Marissa, take it away.
All right, so Mexico, if you look outside, we're in Mexico. Here we are. All right, so, but as we already mentioned, so Princess actually kicked off Mexico. We coined the term the Mexican Riviera back in 1965. We do such a wonderful job with this destination because we've been here for a minute, right? So because of that, we've been able to forge these wonderful relationships with partners here in Mexico. But if we go next, back to kind of that local, locally sourced everything, that onboard programming that I mentioned earlier. So we have something here on our Mexican itineraries called Fiesta Flavors and Fun. And really, again, it's just celebrating that local flavor. So we have on board our Mexican itineraries, we're going to have mariachis and folkloric performances. We're going to have a lot of margarita and tequila tastings for some of you. All right. And we also have a Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah, the Day of the Dead festival.
Thank you,
yeah.
Festival on board. Again, just celebrating that local culture and heritage. So next, please. So I wanted to highlight just a couple of our most popular itineraries, kicking off with our 5-day Cabo San Lucas. So this is going to be a round trip from LA with an overnight in Cabo, short and sweet, but just a couple sea days, really taking in the onboard experience and a lot of fun. Next, then we're going to add to that with our 7-day Mexican Riviera, still to Cabo, tacking on Mazatlan and Puerto Vallarta. For a little bit longer of an itinerary, you're going to pop in with the 10-day Sea of Cortez. Now, here's my insider tip. This is our most popular Mexican itinerary. It books out quickly. So if you have clients interested in this one, this is something you need to book out a little bit further in advance to ensure that they get the stateroom accommodations that they want there on board. Moving on to the California coast. Now, of course, a lot of us here are from California. So welcome, fellow Californians. But thank you. Yes, we will applaud for California. The rest of you don't really count today. It's okay. But I have to say, me personally, I am born and raised, I am bred Southern California girl. How often have I made it all the way up the coast to really experience our own state? I don't. And what better way to do this than a beautiful Scenic Princess cruise? It's so easy and definitely hands down economically the best option for your clients to go up the Golden Coast. So next, please. So again, to highlight a couple of those itineraries, we're going to share the 4-day West Coast Getaway. These are going to be round trip options from LA or San Francisco that are going to call to San Diego, Ensenada. So what we're doing here today. Next, please. Then we also are going to have the 7-day Classic California Coast. Again, same thing. It's going to be a round trip out of LA or San Francisco. We're going to call to Monterey and Ensenada, as well as San Diego again. So again, just wonderful opportunities to see the coast. And you can see as well on the map the other ports of call that we have. We just wanted to highlight here today 2 of our most popular.
That's great. Now, we've also introduced some fun. And what are you guys laughing at? You've noticed some, okay, so Joe in the booth, who is the brains of the outfit, he did a little photoshopping and he put me in a couple of iconic movie scenes. And the reason is because we're doing some theme cruising, both out of Los Angeles as well as Fort Lauderdale, and they're focused on both the 80s as well as comedy. And so for those of your clients that maybe want to get out, have a little fun, have some getaway trips, reminisce on the 80s, bring the jean jacket, get the hairspray, you know, have some fun. That's great. And then also the and cover bands. We're having some great fun on the just from a music standpoint. And then the comedy cruises, a great lineup of comedians and just movies that are make you laugh, like Airplane, perhaps. And just that's just a good way to kind of theme an event and a short cruise. And so we've got some great options for both coming through, starting up really quick, and then all the way through December. All right, so that's an option for sure. Now, we had to cancel Hawaii, right? We had to, unfortunately, cancel our Hawaii season for the rest of this year, but fear not. we have some replacement cruises.
Yes. It's not that we didn't want to go to Hawaii. They won't let us in, unfortunately. But so yes, we, because of that, have these wonderful new opportunities very close in. We wanted to share with you all. So we have a couple replacement sailings. Not replacement, just new deployment. They're going to be on the Grand and Ruby, again, out of LA or at San Francisco. And you can see those details here, 5 all the way up to 10-day itineraries. What I really want to call out here that's special is now typically, as I've already covered, we have our California coastal itineraries and we have our Mexican itineraries, but have you ever wanted something kind of a fusion between the two? Now we have it. So a couple of these itineraries are actually going to kind of blend our California coastal itinerary as well as calls to Cabo San Lucas.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very exciting for sure.
All right, now moving on to Hawaii, because again, we're continuing the trend with West Coast departures. So in Hawaii, we call to Kauai, Maui, Oahu, and the Big Island of Hawaii. And to highlight a couple of those itineraries, jumping ahead myself. So again, that onboard programming, like I mentioned for Mexico, we have something similar for Hawaii as well. This is going to be called the Spirit of Aloha. So this is that locally sourced everything, bringing that cultural flair on board. Now, this is such a wonderful program. You can see here, there's a lot going on. We have ukulele lessons, lei making classes, hula lessons. We have the King Kamehameha Festival. We have Kalua duck available on board. We have a roasted pineapple rum drink. Yum, anybody? So we really have a packed itinerary just for the onboard programming.
Yeah, and the beauty of it, of course, is you have time at sea as you're going out to learn to play the ukulele, to learn how to hula, and it just gives you that time to prepare as you're heading out.
Right, and so you look at this itinerary and you say, wow, that's a lot of sea days. I'm not sure that's for my client. Here's the thing. This is one of our #1 voted itineraries, specifically because the number of sea days, because your clients are going to come back and actually feel relaxed and rejuvenated. Again, all of that wonderful onboard programming and activities that we have available for them, but then they have time to lay out by the pool, to relax, to get in all of those spa treatments that they want. So people come back happier than ever on our 15-day Hawaii round trip.
We were actually talking at breakfast this morning. So you guys know Marcia Patrick, who's sitting over there. I think she's playing Candy Crush or something. I don't know what she's doing. She's on the computer updating her resume because she's sick of working for me. I don't blame her. We were talking this morning about it was actually her favorite trip with her family because of the combination of sea days as well as the time in port. And it's almost like a combination of going to Hawaii and doing a transatlantic cruise. And you have all that time, like you're saying. And so it's a great reminder. I've done it with my family, which we'll talk about in just a second. But let's go to Hawaii and Tahiti on a long cruise.
Yeah, so back by popular demand. Thank you. Yes, I told you, applause. John, it's a very popular option. So we have 2 sailings only. These are going to be your round trip Hawaii and Tahiti from LA. And so you can see here just what a jam-packed itinerary that is. Again, if you have those clients that are not so keen to fly all the way down there, this is a wonderful option for them. But like the slide says, there's 2 sailings only. You know they're going to book out fast. So have those conversations with your clients today, again, to make sure that they are getting the accommodations on board that they want.
And the overnight calls, you got the late night stays. I mean, it really is a great way. You're going down to American Samoa. I mean, that's not a commonly visited place. And to be able to do that just by driving to the pier in LA and going down is pretty cool. And like I said, I've done this trip with my family 10 years ago, back when my boys were actually cute. It was a great trip. You got the whale tail fluking there with the Sapphire Princess with Maui in the background. Visited the battleship Missouri. As many of you know, my dad was on board when he was serving in the Navy. Just a great trip that I will always remember.
All right, so segueing over to the Panama, and you're going to say, Marissa, I thought we were talking about West Coast sailings. Well, guys, we do Panama from the West Coast, but I wanted to chat with you really quickly about just what a wonderful opportunity it is. Again, Panama isn't really at the top of a lot of the clients' minds. However, we are Number one, we have rave reviews on our Panama itineraries and sailings in general. Again, it's all about that onboard programming. And something else that I wanted to mention here too. So this is my other insider tip for the day. We have something called the Scenic Sanctuary. Now on our scenic sailings, so Panama is going to be an example. Another is going to be Alaska. John's going to cover that in just a moment here in Glacier Bay National Park. But when you're going through the locks, your clients can actually book out the sanctuary for $60 per person. This is really going to give them that VIP experience. And so depending on if it's Panama or Alaska, so we have a hot weather package and a cold weather package, they're really going to get a couple amenities, some drinks, some eats, some pampering, and a commemorative photo to take home to really celebrate and remember that experience by. Yeah. But it books out quickly and it books out, so you actually have to make those reservations the first day of sailing. But just wanted to share that's a wonderful opportunity. You as a travel advisor can share with your clients. They can walk away saying, this is why I work with this person. This is, I'm getting so much additional value.
Yep. It is a great experience for sure. And maybe some of you are sending me brainwaves saying, John, why can't you book the sanctuary in the Medallion Class app? And so maybe that might be in our future, just to make it a little easier, because we don't want your clients panicking on that first day to get in there. But that is a great experience for sure.
Right. So here's a highlight of a couple of our Panama Canal itineraries. So we're going to start off with our 10-day round trip out of Fort Lauderdale. So this is great. You're also going to get a little bit of that Western Caribbean in that itinerary there. Also, we have our 15-day ocean to ocean. So again, this is going to be out of LA or San Francisco, all the way over to Fort Lauderdale and back if they wanted to do so and make it a 15-day option again, so that way they don't have to fly. That's a fantastic thing to consider for your clients. Something else I want to call out. So we have 3 ships doing our Panama Canal itineraries. So we have the Caribbean Princess, the Emerald Princess, and the Island Princess. So again, here's your pro tip. The Island Princess is the only one that does the old locks. The other 2 ships do the new locks.
Okay, great. And a little trivial pursuit. You guys noticed that just from a geographical standpoint, on the top here is you're in the Caribbean Sea, right? And then you exit and you come out into the Pacific. But you notice you're actually west of where you enter the Pacific. Even though Pacific Ocean is west, Caribbean's east, it's actually flipped because of the way the isthmus goes up. So if you're playing Trivial Pursuit with your friends and this question comes up, you now know the west and east orientation, which is kind of a neat little tip in case you can win some money. Okay, who here has been to Alaska with Princess? Okay, who here hasn't been to Alaska with Princess? That'll be easier. Okay, shame on you. Out. Oh, all right, bring that up, why don't you? I did start it. You're absolutely right. That's a fair comment. Security, please. Second row. Thank you. Princess, as you know, is the #1 cruise brand in Alaska. And it's not just because we make it up. It's because we carry more people than anybody. We have won the Travel Weekly Award just a few times. And the internal survey that's done every year of travel advisors saying, which brand do you recommend first to Alaska? You have so kindly given us the #1 ranking for 19 years in a row. We really appreciate that. And we think there's a few, thank you. Thank you. We never rest on our laurels. We take it very, very seriously. And we're going to talk about why we think Princess is such a difference in Alaska. I'm sorry for those that had their trips canceled. Next year is coming, as well as 23, which we're going to highlight on. So there's really 3 ways you can go to Alaska. Hopefully you know about this, right? You've got your inside passage, round trip cruising. You got your Voyage of the Glaciers, the one way. And then, of course, you have your cruise tours. We're going to talk a little bit about those today. So the inside passage, you really have some great options for those maybe that live locally in Seattle or live in San Francisco, maybe in Vancouver. So if you don't want to fly, or if you do fly, I really recommend try and do a pre or a post trip. If you haven't been, Vancouver's a wonderful city. Seattle's a wonderful city. Spend some time there, get to know it a little bit, and maybe add that value to your client, package something for them so you can differentiate yourself when it comes to that. And so we also have, of course, the Voyage of the Glaciers. This is the one-way trip. And what's beautiful about this trip is that you're going to see more of Alaska because and I'll show you a map in just a second, but you're going up farther. And this is the gateway to doing the cruise tour, right? This is how you do the cruise tour. Some people do this trip without the cruise tour, and that's fine because you're going to see more glaciers. You're going to get to guarantee see Glacier Bay, which I would say is the highlight. And you're just traveling that much further into Alaska. Now, this is a map that hopefully you can see. The blue is the inside passage, which shows it's a great trip. It's round trip. It's wonderful. The red, though, shows you how much farther up you're going into Alaska. So it just gives you that more opportunity. And like I said, that glacier opportunity, you get 2 days of glacier viewing. One. Now, I was recently on this ship in Alaska with my family, and I had some of the highlights. Like, what highlights of your trip, John? Because I'm not going to bore you with the full trip. I'm going to say one was using the Medallion Class app to have EO of Carnival Corporation deliver me my favorite drink, which is, of course, a fuzzy navel. And Arnold Donald was very kind. I was like the 15th time a day I had maxed my drink limit out. He was really getting sick of bringing me drinks, but he did it, and it was very nice of him. The other highlight was in Juneau. We did the helicopter trip out to Mendenhall Glacier, and I've done a lot of great shore excursions with Princess, and this is my all-time favorite now. Helicopter trips are always cool. Landing on a glacier in absolutely the middle of nowhere, donning all this gear with the helmets, and we had the crampons, the little spiky things on your feet so you don't slip on the ice axes, the harnesses, and we explored the ice for 2 hours. And the guide was so great, and wow, what a day that we had out on the ice. And then the flying whale at night. We went on a whale watching trip, and this is Bolt, the humpback whale that flew out of the water for me, and I got this picture. Absolutely incredible. He was showing off for sure. Unbelievable. And then, of course, Glacier Bay. And so that was our beautiful day. We were very lucky with the weather that week. And the scale of this obviously kind of throws you off. I did not take this picture, by the way, because then I would have fallen off the ship. So this is the Majestic Princess with the Marjorie Glacier in the background. Now, the Marjorie Glacier looks puny, but it's all perspective, right? The Marjorie Glacier is actually 250 feet high and basically a mile wide. And the ice that's on the edgewater that has traveled all the way from the top of the mountain down, it's taken 200 years to do that. So it's amazing when you think of when that ice first fell, what was going on in the world versus, wow, it's here now. It's pretty cool. So what a great experience for us. And then in Ketchikan, have you guys done the Lumberjack show in Ketchikan? I was so impressed. I've never seen the show, and I was so impressed with it. And I like to say it's a combination between Harlem Globetrotters meet Lumberjacks. It's entertaining, it's fun, and the skill and physicality of what these Lumberjacks do is impressive. On the right, you can see them climbing these amazing poles all the way to the top. It's a competition. But beforehand, my family and I, you can actually take a tour where you learn how to throw an axe, which is a handy tip, I think, and the skill in today's day and age. And so we did the training. It was me, my wife, my two sons. He trained us how to do it, and then we had a competition. And then I went, I think I hit maybe one bullseye, allegedly. And then my wife hit 3 bullseyes in a row and just barely missed a 4th bullseye. And the lumberjack said, "You need to be nicer to your wife, because she's pretty good with an axe." I was like, how is she so good with an axe? But I was actually, I think, the best. And I want to show you a quick video that demonstrates just how good I am at throwing the axe. Oh, all right. Oh, you guys see it over there. You guys can't see it, sorry. Can we show it again? Just so what's happening is I threw the axe and it literally bounced off the log and almost went over the roof, which would have been a little unfortunate for the people in the parking lot, but thankfully it didn't go out there. So anyway, it was a great trip. Can you, okay, you stop showing it because now I'm looking, now you're making me look bad. We've also had a chance to host a number of our travel advisor partners on board during this 10 voyage season of 2021. And we're so thankful that we were able to sail to Alaska this season. And it's really about helping our partners in Alaska and the tour operators and all the local businesses, because they rely so heavily on tourism. And that's really why we were able to go back. And it was just our treat to be able to deliver our guests and help the economy of the great state of Alaska. And some of the great testimonies here that we've had, and I think my favorite on the bottom left is Sandy, who got to pet a giant porcupine. Now she says only pet it in one direction. You don't want to go for obvious reasons. For 2022 and 23, we're so excited to be delivering some of the newest and best ships that we have. And as a quick highlight, we of course have now the Voyage of the Glaciers. That's the one way that we talked about. You've got the Sapphire, the Grand. I was just on the Grand Princess 2 weeks ago, and you know, the ship has been around for a long time, but she's in great condition, and she's really got an intimate size to her that I was really reminded of and impressed with. And the dining's been updated, and really a great time. Majestic, you're on board. You know the Majestic. Then we got the Ruby Princess out of San Francisco for those clients there. So we've updated that ship there. And then the Crown Princess is doing round trip out of Seattle, as well as the brand new Discovery Princess, which is going to come out in the spring of next year, in late March of next year, into Los Angeles. So watch your emails for maybe some opportunities to get on board Discovery and maybe we'll do something similar to what we're doing here for sale for a few days so you can experience it. I was actually talking to the folks at home. None of you are invited because you've drank a lot and we can't afford this. It's outrageous how much alcohol you consume. Now, Marissa talked about the extension of the destination on the ship, and the Aloha Spirit in Hawaii, I think, is our second best program when it comes to those interactive experiences. Alaska takes the cake with North to Alaska. It's about bringing the food, bringing the speakers, Glacier Bay National Park Rangers, the music. I mean, everything we do is really about immersing you in everything that is Alaska from the moment you step foot on board. My favorite is probably, if you can't do the sled dog tour, puppies in the piazza in Skagway, and it's done in a very controlled manner so the dogs, you know, aren't harmed. And they are such a bundle of energy. If you've never held a sled dog puppy, trust me, it is like a ball of energy, and they're just so exciting. And it's just one of the great programs we do when we're up in Alaska. Who here has been on a cruise tour? Wow, what a great turnout. I love it. And I'm so thankful that because you've done the experience, you understand why it's so much, I would say it's different, but it's also better because you're seeing more of Alaska. And I just want to encourage all of you, when your clients are talking to you about going to Alaska, always mention going on a cruise tour because they may not have the time, they may not have the money to spend on it, but it's just something you want to have that conversation. And maybe if they've been on a round trip cruise to Alaska, maybe plan for a cruise tour because trust me, you'll see something new. It's a very different experience. And the good news for you is it's more commission because it's more expensive. But trust me, the value proposition of going on a cruise tour, it's our highest rated experience in Alaska. And so it just gives you that connection with your client, and they're going to thank you for it when it's all said and done. Okay, so what is a cruise tour? You guys are pros, so I'm going to spin through this. It's the combination of a cruise, some trains, and going to one of our 5 owned and operated lodges. And so I'm going to walk you through some of the steps that real quick. I think, and maybe you can agree with me here, maybe not. We'll see if you're argumentative. I think one of the greatest experiences is getting off the ship and getting on that train and taking that journey to the lodge. There's something, it's like a throwback experience, right? It's just that amazing connection with nature. You're on a train. It's beautiful. You got the big glass domes. You've got a bar on board. I mean, you can't complain about that, right? Food, some opportunities to see wildlife. It's a great experience to be on the train. And we own and operate those train cars that we connect with the Alaska Railway. And it's a great service, and I think one of the best highlights of the experience. And same day, you're at Denali, you're at the lodge. You don't need to overnight anywhere. And as I mentioned, Princess owns and operates 5 lodges. They're all on a beautiful river. And it's really about, do your clients have enough time to see all of them, or just maybe a couple of them? And do they want to go fishing, hiking? So work with them to understand their needs, but I would highly recommend that you try and get them to experience as many of the lodges as possible. Now, this is a map that just kind of shows you where all the lodges are. So in green, you can see it's actually all the way up there is Fairbanks. I've been to the Fairbanks Lodge. And then the Denali Princess Wilderness Lodge right on the doorstep, the entrance of the park. You can't actually see Denali from that lodge, from that area, based on how the mountain is positioned, which is why we built the Mount McKinley Princess Wilderness Lodge back in the day, because we wanted people to have a view of the mountain while they were at the lodge. And then you got Copper River and Kenai. And Copper River is on the edge of Wrangell St. Elias National Park. Wrangell St. Elias is a massive national park. It actually holds the 2nd highest mountain in North America. And if you combined Yellowstone, Yosemite, and the country of Switzerland, that's how big that park is. It is a massive park, and it's right there. That park is right on the gateway. And then Kenai, of course, which is one of our highest rated lodges. It's much more small, more intimate, and some great fishing opportunities. Now, I mentioned going to see all the lodges. You can actually do this tour, which is called the Ultimate Alaska Cruise Tour with Princess, because you're going to go to all 5 lodges. You're going to do the 7-day cruise. You're going to be gone for 17 days. I was actually booked on this trip last year in 2020. Unfortunately, I got canceled, so I need to reschedule that. But when I asked my boss, I said, listen, can I go away for 17 days? He said, the longer you're out of the company, John, the better off we do. So take the trip. He said, take it twice. Just go. Have a blast. So I can't wait to schedule this with my family. And, I just want to get back with nature. They're just so cuddly. I thought that was a ground squirrel. It is not. It is a grizzly bear. Don't try this at home. This is Photoshop. Well done, Joe. Medallion class. You have all experienced medallion class, and I'm so appreciative that you've had this opportunity to get to experience it. And I think where this is going and why we're doing Medallion Class is because we want to give but more time. The most valuable thing we all have on this earth is time. And it's trying to help you appreciate your vacation by spending more time with your family, enjoying the things you want to do, and freeing up and taking away some of those obstacles that may have been in the way when it comes to, I'm lazy, I just want to sit there and have things come to me, and I don't want to have to get in line for anything. And that's, I think, what's the beauty of Medallion Class and the features of the Medallion Class app. And the beauty of Medallion Class for us now as we've returned to service is that we've invested in having this on all of our ships, so you don't have to wonder, does this ship have it, does this ship not? And we're really thrilled that we have this consistency now across our fleet. And so one of the elements I think, that, when you think about the foundation of Medallion Class are the 6 elements of boarding faster, coming to your stateroom door. I feel like a king every time I go to my stateroom, that it recognizes me, it opens, open sesame. I never get tired of that. When this first came out, I thought, how hard is it to open your stateroom door? Once you've done it with Medallion Class, I might never want to go back to having a cruise. Like, it's just so convenient, and I am spoiled, which is great. Finding your way around the ship. How many people have used the feature to actually locate how to get from one place to the other? It's pretty cool, right? Because you're always getting lost. Like, oh my God, where do I? And this helps you. And there's ADA route if you need a little extra assistance and making sure you get there safely. And then finding people in your travel party. How many of you tried to find me on this cruise? No, you can't, because I have not added you to my profile because you guys are crazy. But you could have done that. And then this is the beauty of being in a small family group, or where is everybody? Are you having drinks? I thought we were going to be in this bar. You can go in and find where people are. As the parent of two 15-year-old boys, twin boys, I know where they are at all times. And they can never turn that off. But I can turn it off so my wife can't find me if I don't want it. I mean, just hypothetical. I'm just throwing it out there. You can hide away and have a great time. Gaming. Who here is taking advantage of the sports book, of being able to gamble on games? Do you guys know you could do that? You can do that. And you all have a $5 credit, so you can place a bet on a future game. And you don't even have to be on board to actually collect. You can bet on a game in a couple weeks. And if you win, then we'll send you the check if you're not going to be back on board anytime soon. So that's pretty cool that we're now doing these betting on sporting events. And rumor has it, I may not be allowed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Maybe the Academy Awards coming up, you can place some bets on that. So just cool things that we're going to allow you to take advantage of for betting. And then in-game betting as well is coming soon. And then, of course, Medallion Net and the fact that we're streaming this off the ship. Hopefully it's working, Joe. We're able to do this. I was FaceTiming my family every night from my cabin. Just the convenience of Medallion Net and how fast it has been amazing. And then, like I said, the delivery of anything I want, which is cool because I am super, super lazy. Okay, so then crew call chat. Who has taken advantage of crew call chat? This is a new feature. You needed a little help, so you wrote in there and you hopefully got a response. Did anybody use it to say, come and help me in person? Because you can do that. You can say, I need help and I'm here. You did. Okay, great. So that's just that convenience as well, that we're allowing that extra service, our crew to connect with you. I've used it on my trip when I was here in July, where I had an issue and I just wanted to send a message, and I went off, sent the message, went ashore, did my thing, and then when I came back, it was taken care of. So just that convenience of not having to try and go and find somebody or wait in line at the front desk, I think is an amazing advantage. And then when the question of does it work comes up, I like to show the fact that when we're launching Medallion Class on ships, because it's a huge investment of time and the resources and the equipment to make this work, we have the ability to measure pre and post in terms of the most important service metric, which is the Net Promoter Score. Will people recommend this product or service to their friends or their family? And we have seen a double-digit increase with Medallion Class once it's been introduced from versus before. So we're pretty proud of that. We know we're working through any issues. If you've had problems with the app and maybe you've had a glitch or two, we are constantly, our team work 24/7 to make that a better experience. And I can tell you from my experience over the last 3 years, it continues to get better and better. So we're super excited for our future. We've won some awards. I don't want to brag, so I'm not going to show that too much. And we did hear you, because some of you are saying, my clients are older, they don't like or they don't have a phone, or they have a flip phone, or they have a jitterbug phone, or whatever it is with the big buttons. And they just aren't comfortable. They want to use it on a website, and I want to be able to help them. And so we are building out a web version of Getting Ocean Ready. Yep. As well as Dine My Way to manage your dining. And so the end of next month, I think it's going to come faster, and Vicky in the back is going to kill me, but I think it's going to come faster than that. But that's what we're saying, end of November for the Ocean Ready, and then soon after that, we'll have Dine My Way. So watch this space. We'll let you know. It's going to be that much easier, but we're very excited for the team that is very busy rolling out Medallion Class to focus on building this website. And with that, I will finally stop talking. Let's talk new ships, Marissa.
Finally.
Finally, right?
Look, applause. They were ready for it.
I'm not sure what they were clapping for, but we're going to need security back in the
so
room.
not just the new technology. Obviously, we as a brand, we have a lot going on, right? So including new ships, right? So we have the Enchanted Princess coming just around the corner, finally kicking off her inaugural season on November 10th. Then, as you know, we have the Discovery Princess coming up behind that, launching here on the West Coast. What's really wonderful about this is that Princess, this is the very first time we have had a brand new ship specifically designated to live here on the West Coast. She is our baby, and we are going to welcome her with open arms. So we're very, very excited. And like John said, we're really trying to get everybody, including me, hopefully, maybe, on board again when she gets here. But then we have even more ships coming down the line. So like the slide says, we are the fastest growing cruise line with four new ships in the last 5 years. So after Discovery Princess, then we're going to have brand new LNG dual powered technology. So they're going to be those clean white smokestacks, more fuel efficient, less carbon emissions, all the good things that we need for the future. Those are going to be coming in 2023 and 25. All right,
and it's a brand new design. We have not revealed any details. It's not a sister ship to it. It is start from scratch. We've been working on this for several years, and trust me, it is stunning. I cannot wait to show you the details.
Right. So Discovery, actually, when she comes out, she's going to be the last Royal class ship. Like John said, this is a whole new class of ship that we're building. So very excited. Start kind of keeping an eye out or, ear to the ground on more teasers as we get closer for more information on that. But I think we have a video we wanted to share.
Let's show the video of Discovery Princess. Yeah. All right, you folks can't see it. Oh, you can see it. Great.
Woo. Thank you. Yes, we are so excited to have her. All right, so moving forward, just wanted to do a couple housekeeping things with you all. So if you're not familiar with OneSource, that is going to be our travel advisor portal. It has everything you could possibly want or need on there. We have the booking tool, so that's going to be our Polar Online engine that you can access right on OneSource. We have certified training, marketing support, sales programs, and more.
And it's mobile responsive, so you can use it on your phone, which is hopefully helpful to you, which is great. So please, if you're not already, check it out.
Mm-hmm. And
how many words can we put on one slide?
Yeah.
That is a lot of words.
But so this is our Princess Academy. So wonderful, wonderful program. If you have not already, thank you so much. Actually, raise your hand. Are you a Commodore? If you're wow, I love you guys.
All right,
Thank
meeting
you
adjourned.
So you're already experts. You know the drill. But if you needed to go in there again, share if you have any new employees or contractors coming on board. Always highly recommend, encourage them to come in here, do the training, really become a Princess expert. And it comes with a whole bunch of perks with it, including the free graduation cruise. So, and that really never expires. Thank you. Yes, we can always applaud for that. So that free graduation cruise never expires so long as you keep up to date on your training. Not just that, we have a $50 onboard credit that you get access to annually. You also get CLIA credits for those. I always forget what they're called. The ACC and MCC, I actually remembered, accreditation with CLIA. So a lot of benefits outside of just the really, really valuable knowledge you get by becoming a Commodore with Princess Academy.
Yep. And plus you're an elite when you come on board and you sail with us, when you maintain your status, which is great. Totally my idea. Thank you. It was.
Refresher courses are now available. So I know you've all been waiting for a little while. We had to kind of keep up to date on the refresher courses because we had a lot of information changing constantly, as you can imagine, the last couple years. So they were delayed because we wanted to make sure you have all the most recent information that's pertinent to you and your business. So they are now up there. This year, we only have 3 refresher courses instead of the typical 6. And the deadline is October 14th. So is that next week, John?
That is 6 days from now.
Oof.
So please
better get on
refresh if you have not already. But yeah, we're very excited to have that.
Perfect.
And then in the Academy, has anybody taken the Sales Expert program? You guys not done that? Or you're already experts? You take it? Okay. And I had the great pleasure of filming some role-playing scenarios with our good friend from CLIA, Charlie Sylvia, who's been a travel advisor for decades. Such a great advocate for everything we do at in the cruise industry. If you're not a member of CLIA, please become one because of all the work that they do on all of our behalves. And you also get 3 continuing education units with CLIA if you take the Sales Expert program. So it's just really fundamental sales tips. Make sure you people in your office are taking advantage of that. And then the Alaska Expert. If you've not been to Alaska, the best way to learn about it is really to take this immersive course. You become, and you can market yourself as I'm an Alaska expert because of how in-depth this program is, and really recommend if you haven't taken that to please do so. And you also get more CLIA credits towards your ongoing accreditation. And then chatting. We've talked about this for the past year in terms of trying to save you time. As we said, time is the most valuable tool or asset that we have in life. And there's 2 chats. There's the OneSource Cruises chat, which is really just about the information of your agency and basic stuff. But the real chat we want you to focus on is in Polar and all that you get to do. And it's available for Polar 7 days a week, 6 a.m., 6 p.m. Pacific time. There's no holding times. You may, if you in rare cases encounter that all the agents are busy. And I say they're agents because there's no bots. This isn't a bot program. These are live people who have been trained to answer your questions. And so please do take advantage of it. And just a little study we did that actually showed if you were to call in to ask a question versus do it on chat, you're going to save 60% of your time using chat. And when we factor in how long it takes to hold, how long it takes to do the call, so it saves some time. Time is valuable. Be the dude on the left, not the dude on the right, okay, is all I'm going to say. But it really does save you time, and time is, of course, valuable. And with that, Princess Answers. Who has used Princess Answers? Great. It is like the Google for Princess. Imagine you call in, you've waited on hold, you've got somebody, you're asking the question. If they don't know the answer off the top of their head, they're going to Princess Answers, the same site that you have access to find the answer to your question. So why call somebody? It's like calling somebody to say, hey, can you Google something for me? That's really what you're doing. And so if you need help, call us. I'm not saying don't call us ever, but I'm just saying the information is so robust and powerful and it's at your fingertips. You have that advantage for sure. And then Princess Plus, you're all experiencing Princess Plus, right? That's where all the drinking come in. We were so proud to be able to get that for you for this cruise so you can experience it, not just because we want you to drink a lot, but we want you to experience Medallion Net. We want to take care of you, and that's why we've hosted you on board. And then you can see the value in it. So when you're talking to your clients, you can have that conversation, say, I've done it, I've experienced it. And truly, if you were to walk on board and buy the 3 things involved, the premier beverage package with bar service charges, you've got Medallion Net, unlimited Medallion Net, of course, and the crew incentive, formerly known as gratuities. Those would all cost you $95 per person per day. But with Princess Plus, it's only $40, and it's commissionable. It raises the fare because it's commissionable for you, but it's not about that, although it helps. But it's really just about giving the value. I tell all my friends and family, buy Princess Plus because the nearly 60% savings, you can't go wrong for sure. And like I said, it's commissionable. My puppet's idea, it wasn't my idea. I couldn't bring the puppet, by the way, for those that asked. He doesn't have a passport, and so I couldn't get him on the ship, but it was totally his idea. And then Fall Frenzy is underway. It expires on November 2nd, so you got a little under a month left to go, up to $200 in onboard spending money. On all of our sailings, it's combinable, of course, and so please take advantage of that for your clients. And then military benefit, it is still, I think, the best in the industry. Up to $250 in onboard credit, and so once you get registered, whether you're U.S., Canadian, active duty, retired, what have you, we will give you that money just as our way of saying thanks. Near and dear to my heart. Here's my dad when he was captain of Battleship Missouri, and when we sailed out of San Pedro, he saw the Battleship Iowa. He was actually the executive officer on board Battleship Iowa. When I was 14 years old, I was on that ship off Virginia Beach, and I was on there for 2 days, and we saw the guns go off, and I was such a lucky teenager. Of course, I didn't appreciate it because I was a teenager, but I sure appreciate it now, thinking back on those great memories. So anyway, thanks for those that have served. We appreciate it. And then Princess Partners.
Yeah, so we have a brand new program that we wanted to bring to you all. So on top of everything that we have going on in OneSource, we wanted to just take our commitment to the next level, to provide as much support to you as our wonderful travel advisors and partners as we can do. So we have sales tools, training resources, support, webinars, our weekly newsletters, our videos, and a lot more coming down the line. So next, please. So we have a new thing that we're actually kicking off. So myself and my colleagues, my fellow BDMs, have been putting together Princess Sales Secrets to share with you all. So this is going to be uploaded soon, but this is going to be everything from packing trips to travel destinations to top tips in Alaska, talking about Princess Plus, just new technology, Medallion, everything, to really make sure that your finger is on the pulse and you are really tuned in and dialed in, and you are that we can share our best knowledge with you in a more direct manner. So that is coming soon.
Yep. And then the wellness tips, just to kind of give just something back in terms of taking care of yourself, right? We need to all take care of ourselves during these stressful times, and just our way of sharing whatever information we can. Okay, it's quiz time. Yeah, there's a quiz. Not what you filled out. I'm talking, we're going to quiz you right now. And did you learn anything from this session, or were you all on Facebook the whole time not paying attention? We're going to find out what you learned. Okay, first question up. How much do guests save with Princess Plus versus purchasing onboard a la carte? 60% is the correct answer. Wow. This is like an advanced placement class. You guys are ahead of the curve. I love it. How many nights in total is the ultimate Alaska cruise tour?
Wow.
Who said 56? Who said 56? You said 17. You are correct. It is 17 nights. Very good. Well done. Which of these actions can you not accomplish using Polar online chat? Now, it was on the slide, but I, of course, didn't say it, so this might trip you up. Is it assistance with Easy Air, option extensions, change of stateroom? I'm talking here. Payment questions. Easy. See, you were paying attention. You read the slide. Good for you. It is Easy Air. So that's the only thing you're really not able to do with chat. Which of these movies was not spoofed in our 80s themed cruise slide? Let me show you the slide again. Okay. So which of these was not spoofed? Yeah, you said it, 16 Candles. So that is correct.
I think we made
Good
it
job,
easy
Joe.
for him, John.
Q&A. So let's see if there's any questions from the live audience at home on the webinar. Do we got any questions, Marcia? I don't know if you have to turn anything. I think it's hot. Does it work?
It should be on now. Can you guys hear
Yep,
me?
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Yeah.
There is a question. Elizabeth Driver wanted to know, is Princess considering, can you guys hear me okay with my mask? Is Princess considering port side testing due to concern over response time with the vendors?
Port side testing.
Yes.
Okay, so we didn't really cover our health and safety protocols as part of this because you have all on board gone through it to get on board. You're all vaccinated. You all took a test 2 days prior or sooner to get on board. And the testing can be a little stressful because am I going to get my results back in time? And I will say we do offer testing at the terminal if, let's say, your results aren't back in time, or maybe you were traveling in and just for whatever reason, we highly, highly, highly recommend that you get your test at home because we don't want you showing up and then if you test positive, that's a whole other story. If you're in a foreign town, you can't get on the ship, you can't go to the airport. So we're really recommending you try and get tested beforehand. But just know there is a safety net of the terminal testing if absolutely necessary. So that's available. So good question. Hopefully that helped clarify.
We had another question about our brochures, asking if we're going to have brochures available anytime soon.
Brochures. So the question about brochures is a good question. There was some applause, I heard. Yes, we are working towards developing brochures, our destination collection, as well as Alaska for 22 and 23, and then some smaller flyers with some of the key highlights. We are in development on that. We appreciate your patience in not having those. And, you know, digital is great, but something about, right? And sharing with people and studying it. And if you go into somebody's home and you see the brochure and it's all bent and you know they've really gone through this. And so that's great. And so we are working towards that. Bear with us on the timing. Joe in the booth is actually helping oversee all that. And if he wasn't busy doing this presentation, he could work on brochures. But anyway, he and his team are working on that, and we'll have some news very soon.
Robin Tierson has asked, how long are the Princess Cruises future cruise credits good for?
So our future cruise credits that have come about through the pause are available to, it's basically a book and sail by date. So there's no earlier book by date through the end of 2022. So the end of December of 2022. All right, so you have that option there. Please encourage your clients to take advantage of that, especially those bonus FCCs. And we're really seeing people buying up in the cabin, getting nicer staterooms, taking longer trips, because there's a little bit of extra money to spend. So take advantage of it, and it's all commissionable for you. The FCCs are fully commissionable, so take advantage of that.
I'm not sure if you know this one, but Susan Kelly would like to know how many passengers will the new ships carry?
Next question, please. Are we talking about Sphere or the project 2023 and 20? Yeah, I actually don't remember the number of people it's going to carry, and I don't want to give you a bad figure.
Okay.
So I do not know the answer to that, as you said.
It's a large ship, yes. Sarah Dong would like to know, do you have to test again after you come back from a shore excursion?
No. Simple question, simple answer. You do not have to test when you return from a shore excursion. There are testing requirements if you are flying to a foreign country, and you'll need to test before you leave. And so we make arrangements in the terminal once you've gotten off. So make sure not to book that earliest flight out is my recommendation. Give yourself some time. It's pretty good response for the result in 30 minutes, I think. But we do make those arrangements for our good friends from Canada who have to go back home and get a test. We'll take care of that for you in the terminal.
Yep. One more question. Carly Hughes would like to know if the vaccine for children from 5 to 11 is available, will they be allowed to cruise once they are vaccinated?
Yeah, so and we're expecting, I think Pfizer submitted approval with the FDA to get the vaccine okayed for the 5 to 11. I'm assuming that's going to go through and we'll start having those young kids vaccinated. The answer is yes, of course, as long as they're vaccinated and they have the 2-week window from the last dose to cruising. So that could mean come holidays of this year, we can have some younger kids on board. So we're very excited for that to happen, but we'll see what happens with the FDA.
Okay, I said last one more.
Okay, one more question.
Nicola Howard would like to know, will ships be running at full capacity by the end of the year?
So when we introduce a ship into a market, like this ship has come from Alaska, and she had been there for 10 cruises. She comes into LA. Each region that we sail in has unique protocols. So Alaska has different protocols than, say, California, say, Mexico, the Caribbean, et cetera. So when we introduce a ship into a market, even though this ship's been operating and they've got great experience under their belt, we want to make sure we do it right and we keep the crew in a position where they can make sure they got everything tested. We're working with the local officials. And so to start, the ships are not going to be full. But as we get more experience, we will basically ramp up and add more people. So by the end of the year, in theory, we're going to be, I don't know if we're going to be at maximum capacity, but we're going to get closer to it. So we'll kind of seeing as this goes and obviously what demand is. But we're excited, our crew are excited to bring as many guests as possible on board. And by the end of this year, we should have half of our fleet in the water, if you look at the schedule. And then by next spring, we're going to have all of our ships back in the water. So come next summer, we expect to have all of our ships sailing to Alaska, to Europe, et cetera. So we're really, really excited to be back in the water. Thank you. Okay, Marcia, thank you so much. For all the folks at home, I want to say thank you for joining in with us today. And for all of you, of course, here, we really appreciate you being here and taking time to sail with us for 3 days. It's been an amazing experience, and the energy you have given me renewed hope because you're so positive, and it's just great seeing you and drinking with you because that's what we've done a lot of. Thanks, everybody, for joining in at home. We'll see you all very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.